And welcome back to the channel. I'm David from Practical Driving. Back in the seat, and we have a new car, so that's all very exciting. So now then, please, if you're enjoying the videos and you think that they're helping you understand a little bit more about passing the driving test here in the UK, please subscribe, click the notifications, and you'll be notified whenever I put another video up. Hello there, we've got Pritam next to us. Hey, let's go. That's the actual structure. Welcome back everyone. We have a test again today, another test route, and this is the 23rd of October 2024. This is the 11:58 AM test, and we are just outside the test centre. You can see that just ahead on the left hand side. So we're going to turn the car around with the examiner here to have the car facing in the other direction. Getting outside the test centre was the only place I could park in this particular time of day. However, so what we're going to do is the car is going to go around this square so that the examiner can get the vehicle facing in the correct direction again. So let's have a look and we will see how the student does on this test. If there are any situations that are coming up. Obviously, guys, I know the result of the test and I know any faults that are coming up, so I'll keep you informed and we can have a discussion about the situation that arises. So today we've been instructed to follow the road ahead, second exit. As you can see, this is the little roundabout in Currie. You've got to keep well left and avoid that right hand lane. I can see that the students crossed over and positioned a little bit too much to the right there on that roundabout to go ahead. Now if there was nobody on his right hand shoulder or behind him, then the examiner might consider that to be okay, provided the students looked and checked there's nobody there, but I think the position there was just a little bit to the right. So at the end of the road we'll be turning right. So the only thing about this is when you get the information, there is a little junction on the right hand side, as you can see, so you've just got to be careful that the timing of your signal is correct. So we've been asked to stop on the left, so that's fine. So we're stopping behind the car and moving off here. Remember your blind spots, guys, and signal in if it's necessary. So at the end of the road we're turning right. This is the junction on the right I was talking about, so you just got to be a little bit aware about your timing of signals. So using the lines, I always like to use the lines here. There's line number 1, 2, line number 3 I like to get first gear with my students there, and then we can go up to the white line and then just sort of creep forward a bit to make sure. You've got to sort of stretch forward at this junction because there's usually parked cars on the right and it spoils your zone of vision, so you've got to try and creep out a little bit. We have that little saying, creeping and peeping. That means that you're using clutch control to go forward gently. Always remember, guys, that you need to check your mirrors before changing speed or direction. That's a very important thing about the driving test, and that any time you're going to slow down or speed up, you need to make sure that you check your mirrors first before you do so, particularly before braking. Now, always check your mirrors before slowing your car down. We are now still in the 20-mile-an-hour area, so a good mirror check to pass this learner vehicle is just stopped, and you can see it's clearly marked for 20 miles an hour at this point. And we're stopping too, so that's good. Okay. So that learner car might overtake us. So in this particular journey, the student's been asked to do independent driving from this point. Now, we'll be following a series of signs, but initially the student's been asked to follow the signs for Edinburgh. Okay, so we've got the slow indication there on the road, and this refers to sharp corner ahead, because you can see the chevrons, and so there's a sharp bend here. Remember, you're still on 20 mile an hour at this point. Okay, so as you get around the corner, hopefully you'll soon see a sign for 30 mile an hour, and then you'll see a sign just after that for the national speed limit. Now remember, these speed limits are a maximum that you can do on these roads. That's the limit of the road. If you do slower or whatever for the purposes of the conditions of the road, then fine, you have to keep safe, so you can only drive to the conditions. However, if you're driving too slow for the conditions, which is always, you know, judged by your instructor or the test itself, and you're driving too slow, then you can get faults for not making progress on the road. It just might mean that you maybe need a little bit more experience to be able to drive at a safer speed, which is probably maybe higher than what you're already doing. You can see that Edinburgh is to the right here, so remember, check your mirrors first, interior and right mirror, and signal right. Now this is a faster A road, and it's faster than 30 mile an hour. In fact, the speed of this road is 50. So you've got to be careful when you're emerging into roads like this, and that you need to get your speed up from the outset. You really need to get up to your speed rather quickly, certainly more than normal. So we're giving more acceleration in between each gear so that you can get up to the speed quickly. You don't want anyone coming behind you in the new road and causing them to slow down or change direction. So because the next direction sign is a bit obscured by the foliage there on the left hand side, we're instructed to follow the road ahead, second exit. This is Hermiston Roundabout. Hermiston has a series of spirals on it, but not in this particular direction. We just need to keep left here to follow the road ahead. Already you can see there's a bus, the blue sign for the bus. So remember, if you see the blue sign, check the time. Students correctly came in to the bus lane here, and the student's now been instructed to follow the sign for Berwick upon Tweed, which is the third exit here. So on seeing the sign here, I know it's not so good on the video, but you get more clarity when you're actually driving. The student's elected to move over to the third. We would call this the third route. The bus lane, the route 1, the middle lane's the second one, and okay, we'll come over to the right hand lane here, and you can see it's signposted for the south. So it's the third exit, and of course we should be signalling right here at this point. Because I don't do audio and we can't video people on these videos, then I can't really tell if the student's checking their mirrors or whether they're signalling or not. So, you know, it's a bit difficult. However, I can only give you what we're seeing here and the evidence and the information I'm getting from the examiner at the end. Okay, so the first thing here that I'm going to explain to you is not actually a fault. It's more or less a planning thing and observations. However, if you look ahead at the next signal, it's showing green. But you'll see that the traffic queue is actually blocking the junction for vehicles from the left. Now, the student, as you can see, stops behind this vehicle, but did have a green light. But that red light you can see above there is for traffic from the left. Now, if that light there on the right-hand side goes to green, then that means priority traffic coming from the left. So I would have held behind the white line under the protection of my own signal. Okay, so we're coming now. See the lights changing red? Now, either the car stopped suddenly there, of course, either the students noticed it going red, or the examiners had to inform the student to stop immediately because of the lights being at red. So we're not going to be able to find that out until the end of the test. However, we'll need to carry on here, and the student's third exit is ahead of you, as where you can see right now. So we should be checking our left mirror and signalling left now, but in this case you'd have to come off on the right hand side. Now then, problem. The student didn't turn. So the students came back round to the right, coming back the direction where we originally came from. So I suspect there could be a bit of a panic on here. The students failed to follow the direction, so the examiner in this particular case has probably thought it safe just to continue where the student's going and get back off the roundabout until we get to a place of safety, which is probably about now. And then the examiner will probably then give instructions here what they're going to do next, whether they're going to go back and do an attempt again, or maybe just follow a different route from here on. So we're in this instruction, the examiner's told the student to follow the road ahead, second exit. And this lane is good, but you'll notice another fault's come up. The students crossed the line behind that white car, quite close, you know, and then came back again. Now, there's definitely something going on. There's definitely a panic on here, and I think the student's losing control a little bit. However, the examiner in this point has actually informed the student to follow the road ahead because he's on the left-hand lane here, and the student will come off this lane. And hopefully the student can maybe gather themselves back together again and then just drive safely for the rest of the test. And we'll see how it goes at the end. It's possible that the student already knows they've probably failed the test, and that the examiner also. So it really doesn't really matter what happens here on in, except for the safety of the vehicle and the occupants. So the examiner will just be guiding the student back on a different route. So everyone, I decided just to stop the video at this point because the video explained everything there. The student was in fact going to go through that red light on the roundabout, and it was in fact the examiner who gave the command to stop, therefore failing to comply with traffic signals. Yeah, so a serious fault there, guys. Of course, it was the only serious fault, and the fact that the student panicked at that point, realising he had failed, and failing to take the route he was asked to go originally, he came back the way and missed his head obviously going crazy. So this is what happens. On a driving test, you get a bit nervous, and when nerves are setting in like that, we don't always think 100%. So it's very important that you know these routes really well. And well, the examiner did the right thing for safety, is just to proceed the way that the student was driving, and then give a series of instructions. After that, they went through the country roads and stuff like that and back up to the test centre. So, but there wasn't really any defence from the student. The student was quite open and said, look, had just managed to get distracted about something on the route, maybe following the white lines and the vehicle in front, and the traffic signals were just out of sight of his own vision, and obviously clear. You know, I'm pretty sure that when the student looks back on this, they maybe feel a bit stupid, but that's what happens when our brain is concentrating on something else, the multitasking. We don't always, although our eyes are open, we don't always see. So anyway, we'll go to the next one, and the student will go on the next test and probably breeze through it, no problem. So thanks for watching, and thanks for your support, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry that I'm having to keep showing you some tests that are failed, but they're good experience, and you know, I would say that students who have failed their tests, you get more experience out of that than watching a test route where there's been no faults at all. So yeah, so thanks for your support. I hope to see you again on the next video, which hopefully will be coming soon, and hopefully a better result. See you again.